Spelling to communicate. What is it? How does it work? These are some questions that you might be asking yourself if you've heard about it. And if you or your child have difficulty speaking, then this video is for you. Hi, I'm Dr. Teresa Lyons. I teach parents the cutting-edge science of autism so that you can make the best decision for your child based on quality information. Spelling to communicate, it's sometimes abbreviated S2C. It's a cutting-edge technique that has one clinical study completed already. If you'd like to learn more about the published research, there's a link down below to the video I recorded on that. In this video, I will show you what S2C involves. All right, let's think about speech. There's a lot of motor planning, yes? We have to coordinate our jaw, our tongue, our lips, and breath. There's a lot of fine motor skills going on, and many people with autism have motor planning difficulties. So much so that there's discussion about adding motor planning difficulties to the requirements of an autism diagnosis. For some, motor planning is very difficult, and for some, speech is also very difficult. So S2C was developed specifically for those with autism who have motor planning difficulties. S2C uses gross motor skills, which are generally better, although still difficult, to access communication. And you might be thinking, okay, but what about using the different devices and just hitting buttons and things like that? That's all involving fine motor skills. So S2C is involving gross motor skills. People generally start with letterboards like this, and they have to use gross motor skills to poke a pencil through the letter to spell the word. They do this to help with targeting, so you use a pencil to help with targeting and to give sensory feedback. And you can see that this letterboard only has a third of the alphabet. These letters are quite large, right? Here's the middle third, and then here's the loud part of the alphabet. So you can see these targets quite large. Generally, students start with a pencil when using this letterboard, and then they progress to using their finger to poke through the letterboard to spell whatever word they want. Now, please keep in mind that there is a communication partner that is always holding the letterboard, right? There's a little handle here. Someone is holding it, and another person is poking through the letters. With S2C, the communication partner, the person that is holding these letterboards, never touches the speller. They might give redirections verbally, but there's no assistance with the arm. There's no hand over hand, hand under hand, anything along those lines. Again, there might be a verbal redirection or some type of verbal prompt. As mastery improves, this letterboard is then used. And this makes a big difference because all of the letters are on one board. So there's a lot of speed that usually increases when students get to use one letterboard that has all the letters. And many students get really excited when they get up to this level. And remember, the students are poking their finger. It's much smaller, but they're really poking their finger to get that sensory feedback and to really become proficient in letter identification so that they can spell words, sentences, paragraphs, even books. The next level of mastery then typically is to move to this kind of letterboard. It's laminated, it's lighter, it's easy to carry. And if you've seen videos of people spelling, it's probably with something like this. And they're just touching. I have seen people spell on the letterboards and I can't keep track of what they're spelling because they're so quick. And those are very proficient spellers. Sometimes they're called fluent spellers or open spellers. Now, math can also be introduced. There's a letterboard that has math functions on it, so numbers, and then obviously addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and equals. So this is where you would start with for math, and then on the back side of this letterboard, you have math functions as well. Some students then go on to spelling on a keyboard, but not everyone. It's a personal choice. This seems like a great option for people with autism to have, yes? Well, 10 to 20 years ago, there was a lot of controversy using a technique similar to this, and the criticism was that the communication partner, person holding the board, was actually moving the board, and that the person spelling was not really spelling. The link to my video about the research study that was done on this technique clearly answers the question, is the person spelling the one who is selecting the letter? So feel free to check out that video. I'll put the link down below for the organization that trains communication partners, plus some other cool links to check out if you're interested in learning more. If you found this video to be helpful, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel to get the cutting-edge scientific information about autism so that you can make the best decision for your child based on quality information.